Hi everyone, I wanted to do my artifact exploration on this website. It's called Penzu.com, and basically what it is a online diary journal resource. So basically, all you have to do to get in is I already have an account, but you just right when you get to the website, you put in your first name, your last name, your email, and then it's password protected so that no one can see what your journals are about. So then basically, I just made my own password, hit make account, and then it brought me right to this screen. Um, when you get to this screen, you can click on the journal, and then before that, you can like customize the journal, name it any name you want, change the cover book. I just made mine Jessica's journal, and I made it red. So you can do whatever you want. You can just go back through settings and kind of just change it and tweak it and make it what you want it to be. So basically, once you're in the journal, you can click on New Entry, and then you can make the title however you want it to. It will date it for you so you can know exactly when you wrote this journal entry. And then here is space for you to write. You can change the background, you can change the pad, you can really change anything. There is a GoPro option, and this kind of just gives you more cover book options, more font options. You can definitely use the GoPro, but I've had no problems at all using just the free version. And I think it'd just be a great resource just to use the free version as something for your class to do, because then every single person will be able to have an account and journal whenever they want and whenever it's necessary in class. And then there would have to be no worries about money. So I really think that the free version is perfect for this. Once you are done with that entry, you can just hit, well, it saves automatically for you. So once you're done with that, you can just go to view all entries because it'll save, and then you can filter in any way you want. So basically, if I want to select just this page of entries, if I want to do the ones I wrote last week, stuff like that, and then they're all going to be right here for you. So if one journal entry is written in class and you need to go back to that journal entry, you can easily find it in a super easy way. And I think it's just a perfect resource for any class, really. I mean, especially writing, because they would get to be expressing their own thoughts and being able to put their thoughts on paper, even though it is a paperless resource. It would kind of just be a way for them to move their thoughts somewhere else than on paper. So I think it'd just be great for them to have a resource of what they were feeling, and then it would also show their progression of their writing skills. That's just like an overall description of this site. It basically is just one big journal. I really have liked it. I haven't written a journal yet, but it has been super easy to use. I've had no glitches or anything. So I think it would be a great reliable source to have in your classroom. So some strengths and weaknesses. So strengths, I really like how versatile it is. You can make as many journal entries as you want, and you just easily hit new entry, and then here it is. You title it, the date's already there, and you write your entry. So it is a perfect way to have multiple writings in one spot so that they don't have to worry about losing a piece of paper, which I think is great because kids always lose stuff and you don't want them to lose their own journal entries. A weakness I do see out of it is just they can only write a journal entry by themselves. They really can't like link with someone. So I think that would be kind of cool if they could maybe in the future make like a button where you can connect with other students, and then you can collaboratively write one journal entry. I know there's resources like that, like Google Docs, that you can do that, but Google Docs has caused me some problems in the past, and this website, I just got on it and has caused me no problems at all. I just think that if they were to be able to write with someone, it could help them build friendships, help them learn off the other students, and just stuff like that. So if that feature came in the future, I think that'd be really awesome, but I think that this website does have more strengths than weaknesses. Another weakness I could see is just, since it is technology, if the technology isn't working, then the journal isn't working. So you just have to be careful when using this in your classroom that each student can access it, the technology is fully working, and just, you just have to make sure that you can use this in your class. And I think once that struggle is overcome, then you can use this whenever, and it really would be a strength for your class. So how can you use it in your classroom? So basically, I would do like daily writing. So every day I would have the students come in, we would start class, I could use it at either the beginning of the day, end of day, some days both. It kind of would let students be able to get their thoughts out and expressions out onto this and kind of just vent. I think that would kind of help them start their day with a fresh mind, or help them leave school with a fresh mind. I can also use this as like an assessment. So say we learn something, I could have them write their own journal entry about, let's say we were just talking about something with like science. They could write their journal entry about something we learned in science, and I could really see, like I could walk around and see who's writing more, who's not writing a lot, and then kind of gauge that off of how I'm teaching and what I could fix to help them grasp the concepts easily. So basically, I think this is super versatile. I could use it in any subject. You can use it as a free write. You can use it as a creative writing period to write stories or just talk about their day. So I really, really do enjoy this resource, and I'm really excited to use it in my classroom. There's also a super cool feature on here too. So you can also get prompts. So if I wanted a prompt, it would show a quote like this, and then you can write your entry off the quote. So if I wanted to in my class, I could say, everyone, okay, click a prompt, and then they could go to the prompt, see it, and then have to write something. So I think that would just kind of be a fun way to spice up the class. There's also a option on this website to double password protect your journal entries. So if a child was nervous about writing his thoughts down and didn't want anyone to see it like a diary, they could just double password protect their journal and then not have to worry about anything, because no one could get in, no one could see it, no other student could read it. And I think that would just be a really great safety method for the kids that are too nervous to write down their feelings. How does it meet the needs of your diverse learners? I think it meets the needs because some kids need to see their writing and reading in a different way than just on pen and paper. I think having this technology will really keep them busy and let them experiment with all the different kinds of resources and tools on here. They would be able to show their expressions with images. You can import images. They would be able to like change the colors, do anything they want. So really this is so individualized for every student. So I think it'd be perfect for the diverse learners because they'll be able to learn and write in their own way without being judged by their students or just having a pen and paper to do so. I think having a technology and a tool to write down what they're thinking and being able to choose and critique and make that tool unique really would help them get involved and continue progressing in the classroom. So connection to course readings and discussions. How does it align with what we have learned about digital tools and technologies? So I've pulled some quotes to show how this website connects, and my first quote is from the 5 stages of technology adoption, and I've highlighted it here. So it basically says, as you experiment, keep an open mind and look for anything interesting or helpful to you. So basically when I was looking for this resource, my mind was completely open. I knew that I wanted to find something that each child could use and each child could be interested in. And this is the website that I came up with, and I love it. It's really looked interesting and helpful, and I know when I was in elementary school, I loved to write, and sometimes I just didn't want to pull out the pen and paper, and my hand was too tired, just stuff like that. So I think this would be a great alternative to then that paper writing, and this way no one would lose it. So I think right now I put myself in the stage of experimentation because I found something that is interesting and looks helpful, and I want to implement it and see what my students think of it. Another thing I found for the connections was from How to Integrate Technology from EduTopia, and it says, even with one computer in the room, there are ways to integrate that one machine into your classroom and still make sure that you and your students are indeed doing things that you couldn't do before, not just doing the same things you did before in a quicker, more efficient way. So basically this kind of shows that ideally each student will have their own technology to use, but even if you only had one computer to use, we can use that, we could use that one computer for kids to write a collaborative journal entry. Like every day the class writes a journal entry. Each student says something that happened to them that day. So it wouldn't just be doing the same things in a quicker way. It would be doing things in a different way to help kids learn a different way. So basically, even if there was just one computer, they could all write together, or they could all come up with certain things. We could do different activities together on this resource. So it really opens up the possibilities. The technology, yes, it does matter. It does matter how many you have and what access the children have to it. But if there is at least just one computer in the room, they'll be able to do so many things than not having any computer at all. So this website would just really let them write and express themselves with their classmates. And yes, it might be quicker than doing it on pen and paper, but there's so many different tools they can use, and I feel like it really is a different resource than just writing in an actual notebook, because you can't change the color, you can insert images and stuff like that. So it really is unique to the child, and that's why I feel like this resource would really add to your classroom. Back to this. Sorry about that. So how does this go beyond just a cool fad or fun tool to use in the classroom? I think this just goes beyond that, because journals have been around for so long and so many kids use them. I see kids, I'm a camp counselor, I see kids at camp with journals all the time. So the fact that journals have been used in the past and are still used now, I think shows that this wouldn't just be a fad. I think it would be a fun tool, because they could come in every day waiting to journal, and then they could take these journals with them throughout the rest of their life. This account is theirs, it's password protected, only they can see it. So I think this is more than just a fad, because it is theirs and it is unique to them, and they can keep writing in this journal for however long they want. We could have all teachers in the school be using this resource to have every kid journal, because it might help them relieve stress, it might help them progress their writing skills. So just stuff like that. The next question, how can I add an extra layer of learning for your students? So basically you can add an extra layer, because say I'm teaching a specific subject matter, I can have each student have a set of like vocabulary words, and then they can use that in their journal entry and highlight them and turn them a different color, so that they would have to write the journal entry until all the vocab words are used, and I could be walking around and seeing like what's been used, who's struggling, and stuff like that. I think it would really add an extra layer of learning, because they wouldn't just be writing it down on pen and paper and forgetting about it. They'd be writing it down or typing it and seeing it visually, what they're writing, and visually understanding what they're writing. And then they could keep this writing to show how they progress in the journal entries over time. So I just think it would add an extra layer, and it would just add an extra spark to the class, because they would be able to use technology to do just a simple task as journal. And they would be able to have fun with it and do it in their own way that they wanted. How does it extend learning for students working at various levels? So there is no guidelines to this website. It is just journal entries. So even if kids were at different writing levels, they could still type and write journals. There is no template to follow. There is no reading level to exceed or anything like that. You literally just click on it and start typing. So if there were students at different levels in the classroom, they would just write what they wanted to write. They would write at different levels, yes, but it is their journal and it is their whole account. So they would just be writing their account at that one level. There wouldn't be a struggle for them, because they would just be writing what they wanted to, and then the higher learners would just be writing at a higher level. So it really is versatile for all students and all levels, and that's why I really like this resource. You can really write whatever you want no matter what level, and I think that is great. And then the last question, does it allow you to explore content at a deeper level? I think it absolutely does. Is what linking back to that vocabulary activity that I had in mind, you could take what you learned in class and every day have your students write a reflection about what they learned and what was their favorite part of their learning, what they struggled with, and then you could even have the students share their journal entry at the end of the class if they wanted to. I think it just allows kids to explore content at a deeper level, because they are getting another writing experience with that content, so they are going to understand it more. And at that point, if they don't understand it, they're able to raise their hand, and I can come back and kind of reiterate what we learned, what the concepts were, and try and help them understand it better. I just think it allows students to dive deeper and progress their writing skills, as well as the knowledge that they have about a certain concept, because that is the most important part. We want kids to be understanding what they're learning and know why they're learning what they're learning. So I feel like this journal entry resource allows them to put into words and try and understand what they learned that day and link it to other everyday things. So reflections are a great part of class. I have loved doing them. It has really helped me see what I learned, and it has helped me see what I should be studying more and stuff like that. So yeah, this is my artifact exploration. This website is super great, and I can't wait to use it in my classroom. I have had no problems with it so far, and I review it very highly. And yeah, thank you for listening.